Hey guys, Saxy here, and welcome back to another racing video here on the Saxy Racing Network Extras channel. Welcome to Atlanta, or Echo Park, whatever you want to call it. Round 2 of the proper season. I don't know what I want to call it, like round 2 or round 3, because the duels also did exist, and they did count for a little bit of points. Either way, welcome to Atlanta for our second full points race. Quickly going to go over this. What was I gonna go over? I don't care. Anyways, let's go ahead and start them so you guys get to quickly get into this. On pole, and who scored the one extra point tonight was Jay in the 54, who was outside Ricky on the outside of row 1. Then it's Feed Bajan, qualifying P3, who was outside of Ryan. Then it's Casey. Jelly, for some reason I couldn't remember his name, Smity, Chris, Spades, Julia, Juan, Crimson, Colin, and Taffi ended up crashing out of qualifying with some help from the number 17, so that one will be quite interesting to see how that shapes up with that contact. Maybe the number 7 not too happy with the 17 as they are getting ready to go green here in Atlanta. Hope you guys have been enjoying this. Make sure to go check out Daytona and the duels if you did not go see those, so go watch those. As here they go to the green flag. Jay will lead him to green, but he doesn't get an insanely good start compared to Ricky. Ricky actually led it to the green. So a very poor start out of that 54 compared to what we had in the last two races, where the leader just got away. But thankfully this time Jay did not get crashed out of qualifying. He qualified on pole for the 500 and then got wrecked out of qualifying, so immense speed out of that 54 when it comes to these plate track style races. Let's see if he can capitalize that here tonight with our 100-mile long race here tonight. As now here comes the 24 on the inside, Ricky on the outside. It's going to get interesting to see what line starts moving a little bit quicker. They actually can run 3 and 4 wide better here than Daytona. The arrow push is not as bad when it comes off of these turns. I'm going to say that, and yeah, of course, they wreck on lap 2. Ooh. Chris is out. Only one car around, so no caution. Because it is plate style racing, so we are not going to throw a caution for single cars being around. But if anybody else goes around, we will throw the caution. As here we come back to the line, it'll actually be the 31 of Casey who leads it this time. She started a little bit deeper in the field and found her way up here pretty quickly. You're going to block the bottom off, cover off this 24. As they were 4 wide earlier, now they've pushed it back down to 3. And this is going to suck for Chris if a caution doesn't come out soon. He's going to get stuck laps down and have a hard time getting those laps back. Already a lap down. Still 3 wide. Jay moving backwards because there's no help on that outside line. And now Casey goes up there. And now she's stuck up there. The 33 now got to her inside. And that allows the lead to go to the 24 on the bottom. This one definitely works a bit different from Daytona. The middle line actually is more preferred than the outside line. In my opinion, I do think that middle line works a little bit better. As I heard some contact. Yep, and that will be caution flag for the first time here tonight. Made it a few laps in, but caution does come up pretty quickly here. That's going to help Chris. There's a 24 trying to go all the way to the bottom, trying to get this lead. And does not even get it. So, I know there was a couple cars. Oh, Chris is moving. Chris is moving. But they've already raced it back, so no damage on there. Colin does make it back to the line. And so does Crimson, so Chris, only the one car, a lap down. Big move from the 19, goes from the bottom of the track, moves up just ever so slightly, and just keeps coming up into the 7, and just catches Chris, and there goes Chris up and over. Nothing he could have done differently there. Just an innocent bystander. We are back. Getting ready to go green again after that short little period of green flag race and just some bad moves through 1 and 2 from the 08 and the 19. Chris is now going to be hoping for quick cautions that do not involve him so he can get back on this lead lap because he is going to be a couple down. Not crazy bad. I've seen worse, but it definitely was pushing it. And I'm actually going to set the time to 12 so that way it gets a little bit of the shadow off the main straightaway on our front stretch so that way you guys can see the line a little bit better. This is still not going to be great. The shadows are still going to be there. And I'm not turning them off because it makes it look a little less realistic. So. Anyways, Jay actually, from pole, falls all the way back to 9th in only those few amount of laps as they hit the green flag here. And you see a little bit better start there from the 45 than the 24. That's what I was expecting out of Jay initially. Jay did not get going very fast. And he sunk down to 9th. But this is a little bit longer, at least laps-wise, than Daytona. Instead of 40 laps, it is 65 because of the size difference of tracks. So this one will be a little bit longer, potentially. Could be about the same length, it just depends on how fast they're going around here. And how many cautions we get and how many resets we need. Hopefully a little less than Daytona. Hopefully it doesn't just go green from the to the end. I do hope there's a couple cautions that give us some good clips. For thumbnails, at least. And as we're going around, they've got it already. So Jesus, cycled out to 3 wide. Spades all over the track, went from the top to the middle, blocking off Julia. And your Daytona winner and dual winner. So Julia looking on top of the world right now with a bunch of points. Looking to put a bunch more in her hand to keep the championship lead. She ducks down to the bottom, trying to get around Spades, and it looks like she will, because Spades has no help right now. That 24 has not hooked up to her. Now here comes Julia to the lead, and will lead a lap here early. As Chris is 3 laps down. I did not see that last time. Chris is 3 down. So he's going to be hoping for at least 3 cautions to get himself back on this lead lap. It is a very, very bad start for that number 18, and it wasn't even his fault. It was the 19's fault. Julia goes to the middle, blocks off Jay, who has found his way back up towards the front. Now goes to the top, blocks off the only other Ford in the field of the 25. Whoa, big wiggle out of that 25. That was a little bit scary. Outside line's got the run right now. How long will they keep it? I don't think for too terribly long as Julia all the way up against the walls. They're going 4 wide. Oh, Julia gets turned! Hard hit on the inside wall for the 41. It is going to be a multi-car crash. Maybe if Jay does he keep it going? No, Jay hard into the wall. He's going to take the 24 with him. That is gonna suck. The field now racing it back down to the line. It'll be Juan who leads it. But that was a hard crash for Julia. Jay got a bad push there from Colin. Just got up the track from it, and then there goes Julia. Hard crash for that 41. We are back from caution number 2. 3 cars go a lap down. Chris gets it down to 2 laps down now, so he is no longer just 3 down. So that's what he's going to be glad to hear, is he's actually gained a lap now. So he will be down to 2 instead of 3, and then it'll be the 24, the 54, and the 41 all 1 lap down now, as Juan will lead him to the green flag for the first time here tonight, who is outside Spades, and then behind those 2 it's Ryan. And the 88 making his way up towards the front, and Casey. So the Ford's looking strong tonight. The 2 of them have both led now. As here we go to the green flag. Juan leads him to green. And there it is in the restart box. Juan able to get a good start against that 45. Now it's who can get the better push now as soon as they go around the track. As you see them in the back, the 18 and 24 both at the wall. Thankfully, damage isn't that realistic in this because it is just Roblox. As they fly down the backstretch, the 25 up front. 3 wide. Is this a 31 that goes in the middle? Oh, they're trying to push it 4 wide. This is already getting crazy, and now they push it back down to 3. Casey thought better of it. Side by side now, Juan and Ryan. For the race lead, it looks like the 25 is going to get the slightly better push. Oh! 25 moves up to the top side. Ryan now getting down there on the bottom. Casey's still trying to fight in that middle line, but there's no help in that middle line. There's a line that's starting to form up just a little bit more and more. It's going to get a bit interesting. Now the 88 looks to be the one out front, got the better help, but they outside of lines are starting to come back. It is a definite drag race between these 3 lines. I feel like a little more than Daytona. I feel like all 3 of these lines seem to be pretty equal. Outside line, it depends. It can be really good and it can also be really bad. But Ryan able to clear, got a really good push from that 19 of Colin. Still early, though. You can't make too early of a call of who's going to win this thing. Especially with these plate tracks, you don't know, especially when they're making moves like that. I'm expecting there to be a crash. Somehow it wasn't. The 7 car moved up now to the leader of the outside line as Ryan moves down. The car that qualified last, ended up in a crash in qualifying, is now in the fight for the race lead, with Ryan to have no help in this middle line. He's going to be hoping for something here to help him out. He's going to have a decent run. It's going to be a photo finish coming down to the line. I believe the 7 got it. And she did, as we're trying to cycle up to her. There she is. We're going to a bit of a lag. She's got a bunch of help. Ryan is trying to get some help. Whoa! Crash in the back! That's going to be a big one! And Julia's involved again, and so is Jay! Oh no, more cars involved. It continued. That is the long one. As they're going to race it back. Got a couple more laps under their belt. And that's going to bring Chris the 1 lap down. As Ryan will lead him to the line. As Feed Beijing gets on the lead lap, and now Chris is only 1 down, so these cautions are playing into the favor of the 18 to get him back into action here. Escape the last 2 cautions. Slowly been getting his laps back. He's hoping for at least 1 more, and he's not involved. And if he is involved, that he can navigate it pretty quickly. As Ryan will lead him to green. The 31 to his outside. I believe this may be the first lap Ryan has led. I think. Maybe. I'm not sure. Green flag! That one was a little bit even. A little more even. Between the 2 lines, at least for the front row. Oh, 31 already jumping to the outside. I don't know why we're getting such bad lag tonight. Why are we getting such bad lag tonight? It shouldn't be like this. Why lag? Why be so lag? As Ryan leads them down the backstretch. Four wide behind the leader. Colin on the bottom. Ooh. Taffi, Juan in the middle, and Casey up top. That'll get interesting. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's what I mean. It gets interesting. Crash, Ricky. Spades. Not Spades. Spades made it through. And again, Julia's involved. And Chris is going to make it out. That one was a big one. Caution flag will wave again. All right, we are back. Chris is officially back on the lead lap. He made it through another. So he is now going to be back in contention. And a couple other guys that were also involved in previous crashes now on the lead lap. With Julia and Jay being one down now. As Ryan did lead it back to the caution. Him and Colin will lead the field to green. As this one is turning out to be just like Daytona. When I did test session, it was a lot cleaner. I guess they decided, let's make this more chaotic when the camera rolls. So, hopefully they clean up their act a little bit, because we're only 18 laps into this, and it's already been 22 minutes of recording. So, green flag back underway. And see, the lag, I think, is the problem, is they lag and they can't tell where each other are. I'm not sure. That's my guess. I don't know. As here we go. 88 out front. Clean so far. Outside lines are very spread out between the middle and top. They don't want to work together. The bottom all formed up. And that is going to be the downfall of some of these guys. Start on these outer lines, is if they don't form up quickly, they're going to lose their run. Can't see a thing. Thank you, Ryan, for moving to the top, and I can't tell where you're at. There we go. Lines are starting to form up. Middle line has the least amount of cars. Ryan with big help from the 19 there. He's going to continue to lead. Why are you lagging so much? I hate Roblox servers. Honestly, if we do a 2027 version of this, I might just buy iRacing and make AI of my friends that way. It'd be a lot better. Crashes would be a lot cooler and all that. I think that would be cooler for you guys to see. But that's a lot of money to put down, and I'd have to learn a lot of stuff on iRacing. Not to mention the money that would go into buying tracks for that. That would be crazy. Anyways, Ryan with a pretty big gap there to the field. He had a very good turn 3 and 4 in my midst of yapping about another season of doing this type of racing. As the 3 lines behind him have gotten very even, but nobody getting close to Ryan yet. Whoa, big wobble there to the 18. Top 10 all on the lead lap. 4 cars, only 1 down. And one of them is pushing Juan up to the back end of the 88. And both of them are going to slide up. Juan goes to the middle, Ryan goes to the top. That leaves Ricky the leader of the bottom line. Uh-oh, that almost got a bit interesting there. Ryan came down into Juan. If Juan would have stayed there, Ryan would have gone for a wild ride down to the inside and probably back up into the field here in turn 1. As Ricky leaning on the 24, he's going to cause a crash! Ricky! And Ricky takes out the field, and I mean the field. The 24 bouncing around. He's going to be hoping that he can get that thing under control and get it back to the line. I wish we could see if he's going to make it back to the line. Thank you, Roblox. I think he's gonna. He's got enough momentum. I don't know what position he's going to cross it in because I can't see a thing. And we're back after a big crash. I would feel like that one would have taken out a bunch of cars if that was iRacing or any other game. If it wasn't Roblox, that was a huge wreck. As hopefully we made some setup adjustments that will cause the cars to stop crashing as much as they are. Because I am getting annoyed by 2 races in a row. 3 if you count Duel 2 of just crashes. Is it like my real friends? Yeah. They have their races where they are just wreck after wreck. but I would like it to be a little less. That will get frustrating at these plate tracks. It will be as bad when we get to non-plate tracks because the field will be spread out a little bit more. At least I hope so. I'm hoping as soon as we get away from these plate tracks, it'll start thinning out like that. As green flag in the air. Juan leads him. Chris has made his way already up to second after being 3 laps down at the beginning of this thing. Wrecked on lap 2. Took him a little over 20 laps to get up here, but he's here. He's leading the Toyotas and they're charged forward as 2 of them are a lap down and we've already got a crash. Is that going to take out? Yes, it's going to take out the field. Thank you, 7. Thank you for taking out the field. And continuing to take out the field. Thank you. Appreciate that. We didn't even get 30 seconds in without a crash. 30 seconds. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. That is dumb. Oh, wait. We got it. We got another car finishing. Maybe he's gonna. Oh, we got it. And we're back. And apparently it's gonna just turn into a caution fest again. This is getting frustrating. I am hoping this starts getting green flag runs. Otherwise, I'm going to start turning down the aggression to 0, turning sensitivity to 0. I am going to make this thing a snooze fest if they just keep crashing every 2 seconds. I'm not going to lie. I will let whoever has first win by default because they are just not going to make moves. I would rather no moves instead of crash 2 every second. Just keep it clean, that's all I'm asking. I know y'all guys can, I've watched y'all do it. Yes, here they go. Green flag, Juan leads them to green. Keep it clean. As they roll through turn 1. Juan still clear of those outer lines. He's going to shoot up to the middle line. allowing Crimson to get a look on low. No help really to these outer 2 lines. They are still very spread out. So this bottom line's got to start pushing and shoving while they can. Get these runs formed up. Get it going. Three wide for the race lead. Because the middle line's still not really formed up. The outside is starting to get formed up. The bottom has a lot of cars. And now they're going to go 4 wide. This is going to get crazy. Oh, how did they not wreck? How did they not wreck? I was expecting it there. I was expecting the 18 and the 08 to go around. Somehow, someway, they've kept it clean. For now. That's what I'm going to say is for now. They've kept it clean. They've got to figure their way out around this 4 wide because they are 3 wide behind them. And those 2 behind them have got to figure out a place to push. As you see, Julia goes with the 08 and is going to leave the 18 out to dry. And there's the crash. Big crash on the front straightaway caused by the 31. And it's going to continue into turn 1. Huge crash. Only 5 cars made it out alive. Couple are going to keep straggling across the track. But that's a huge one. We're going to have to go back and look at what happened there, because that one was crazy. As I wish I could see the race back to the line. It's looking like Smitty's going to get it, maybe... Yeah, barely. Another big crash. I think arguably that was the worst one yet, hopefully. They start clearing it up, because I am getting frustrated with these moves. But that one I won't fully blame on Casey. They were 4 wide, bad area of the track. Not gonna be that crazy on that one. But I will say, I am feeling really bad for Jay. Qualified on pole and is now actively sitting 4 laps down. cannot avoid these crashes. He is getting caught by each and every one of them. It's definitely a heartbreak to see for him. Started off so well, and ending, if it were to end soon, it would be a heartbreak for him. Dead last, 4 down. As the green flag flies, Smity not able to get that crazy of a launch. As the field trying to sort themselves out in the dirty. Big contact there between the 41 and the 24. They're going to keep hitting, making contact. It's going to end up with a 41 with damage. I think the 41 has a lot of damage there. That's going to hold up some of these cars. That ultimately could help separate this field a little bit. One car upside down. Only one involved. That is your Daytona and dual winner. That could get interesting. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. That could bring out another caution. They gotta make sure they do not hit that car sitting on the apron. They can, and I'm hoping they either just ever so slightly nudge her. Yeah, that's what I was expecting right there. Perfect. No crash, no caution needed. Oh, but there might be one soon. 4 wide. Keep it clean, boys. And girls, and everybody else in between. As Smity goes backwards, did not get a good rotation there, did not have the immediate help that he wanted, so now 45 to the lead after making contact with the parked car. And now there's no danger of it. Oh, but big wiggle out of everybody. That's going to be a huge crash coming to the line. Only 3 cars. Here they come back to the line. Smity leads it. Oh, my God. That is the big one. This one, I think they all tried to go for an avoiding action just to ensure that they did not hit her. Well, the whole field just shoots up the track and into each other. And there's not enough room for them to do that. As you see there, the 7 just squeezes up, and then there's just no room for it. And then that's a big crash there. A bunch of cars getting laps back, and a couple losing theirs. Front 5 are all on the lead lap, and there's a couple other people in the back that are also on the lead lap. That tells you how many cars have been involved in the last 2 crashes at least. Only the front 5 are... Oh, well, not, I won't say only the front 5 are on the lead lap. I meant to say they are the main ones in the fight right now up front are the front 5. And then it's the 4 involved in the previous crash, and then I believe 5 that were previously involved in a crash getting their lap back. As green flag, a very good start there for the 48, not so much for the 45. Literally about a 10th difference there across the line. That is what I meant by the difference can be huge when they cross that line between first and second. This line's going to start sorting themselves out. I believe we've already got a crash in the back. We do 1 car around. And the 7 continues, so that's just going to separate the field. No caution. That is definitely going to hurt some cars that were involved in that crash. A little less. Oh, and never mind, they've already crashed again. God dang it. Drive to the line. Don't wreck each other. Be smart. There's only 4 cars that cross a line altogether. Alright, we are back, hopefully for a little bit longer of a green flag run than that. Hopefully. A bunch of cars got their lap back, because everybody was involved, but everybody kind of drove off except for 1 car, which was the number 17. He ended up flipping. Everybody else was A-okay. So now I'm hoping that these guys can keep it clean We are barely over halfway, and it's been 40 minutes because they keep having cautions. Daytona was almost over at this point. Why are you guys being so chaotic? As there we go, green flag in the air, Smity leads him to green again. Once again, not a crazy good start. Colin kept it very close there, but he's going to have no help as they head into turn 1. Never mind, Ryan heard what I said and went, you know what, never mind. But now Colin goes to the top, once again, no help to him. Now Smity moves up the middle line. As we already have another crash in the back, they are just not learning from their own mistakes. And it shows. It really does show. As 3 wide up here front, as the field is going to get pretty spaced out here if they keep having small crashes like that. I believe the 24 may have parked it. And that's going to be another caution, because that is a car parked on track. Alright, we're back, and I have turned down spin sensitivity down to 0, and aggression down to 0. We are running these laps out. I don't care anymore. We have gotten 40 minutes in of racing, and half of it has been cautions. I actually would say more than half has been cautions. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm not gonna lie. I get that it's AI, they're gonna make dumb moves like that, but like, I've watched them do better. And anytime I turn this camera on, it's like they lose all of that I won't even call intelligence, it's artificial intelligence. There's no thoughts behind every move. It's just follow whatever line is being told to you and it's random bullshit. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Seen them do better. So I'm sick and tired of seeing them wreck as soon as I turn the camera on and cause this to be dragged out. So, green flag is underway, and this is probably what the order's gonna run for a good couple laps. Not gonna lie. And I'm fine with that. And I hope you guys are going to be too, because that's how the end of this thing is probably going to run unless we get another caution late. I'll probably turn it back up. So that way they actually race properly. Oh, properly in quotation marks. Don't even care that I'm going to finish 12th or 13th because of this. As you see, they race it in 2 lines, no crazy moves, except for maybe a couple. That's what I mean by a couple moves will be made, but nothing crazy. It's now side by side. The line's starting to form up. 48 on the outside of the 45, side by side, the 45 is clear. As the field starting to figure out what they want to run here. Bottom line's kind of committed to this bottom line. The middle line could move up. And these front guys up here on this bottom line could move up if they want to. They've gotten a good run around the outside line. As Colin will jump up to the outside, they're slowly finding their way up to this outside line. Bottom line definitely looking like the preferred line right now because they have the most cars. As cars are going to start straggling off. Comes down to whoever has more cars who can get the better pushing and shoving going. Oh, Juan. Oh, big slide out of the 45. That's going to put the 45 out of the lead. That's going to hand it down to the 88. But he's going to have no help here. Juan's going to have some help. And that's going to make these lines a little bit more even. That one mistake out of the 45 could end up costing that entire lane to change up who finishes where, as we are starting to get some laps under green. 41 out of 65 here. As we do get a side-by-side battle. Juan battle into the outside of Ryan. As we start to get some lag spikes here. Outside line should get a run here. Side-by-side, a drag race down the back straightaway. As the guys that did end up going to the top are now just going to go backwards. Since the field is not making any too harsh of moves. Nobody's going up to that outside line. So it's not formed up. It's only staying down to this 2-lane race right now. So for those guys' sake, they've got to hope for some more guys to go to this outside line and start falling back. Oh, or Ricky to make moves like that forced the field to do that. So that's going to break up that outside line. It's going to break up all the lines pretty much. As Crimson does find her way back into that middle line, as they are 4 wide behind the leaders. So even with the aggression being turned all the way down, they still find a way to put it 4 wide. Juan versus Ryan. That is the fight for right now. The field's starting to thin out a little bit and go to this outside line. Which could end up meaning an outside line groove, if they can get to each other, could form up and chase down these race leaders if they keep fighting as hard as they are. Because in 2 and 3, they are not as fast, but once they start getting a little more, they can get together. There is about, what, 5 cars off of this main group now on that running that outside line? If they can sniff each other's draft, they could end up going down to this thing and catching right back, catch right back up. Because there's only 3 cars in that middle line. There is 5 on the bottom. But there isn't a whole crazy amount of cars in that middle line trying to fight with this bottom line. Oh, and it's going to be even less now. So the more and more they spread out, that's going to make it easier for this outside line to form up and get back to these guys. As you're seeing, Jay and the back guy is starting to catch that second group of cars, or sorry, the back group of cars, which will slowly move them forward. And since they're already stuck up on this outside line together, they're going to start rallying. That's where a lot of cars are stuck at now, is this outside line. Not stuck at, that's where they've chosen to run. There's only 6 cars here running the middle and bottom. And it's still a good fight between these 2 lines. Casey versus Ryan. Ryan has not moved off this bottom line, and it's working for him right now. I don't know for how much longer, because like I said, that outside line is going to start forming up here. And they're going to start rolling pretty fast. Only person not in that group right now is Jay. Just does not have the speed right now to keep up with everybody, but that honestly might be a smart call if we do end up getting a caution. But he should be getting plenty of draft, and he will catch slowly as Ryan has no help right now. The 7 nowhere near to the back end of that number 88 like it should be. Field making its way to that top side. They are going to blitz this bottom and middle line. Is look how long that line is. Looking realistic if you ask me. It's like the pit window just came out, and the bottom and middle line just came out of pits, and the top side is your normal field that's been running a few laps. Oh yeah, they are there. You can no longer count that outside line out. They have got it rolling. And as you're going to see, the 48 has seen it, and he's going to go to the top. That's going to hurt the 31 unless the 31 goes up the block. The 31 goes up the block! That's going to leave this bottom line out very poorly. 4 cars versus 10. So the hydrogen bomb versus an ant meme. As there they go. Ryan needs to block that if he wants to keep this race lead. Here comes the 31 with a train of cars behind her. Big push from the 48. Still not there yet, but they are going to be here. Coming off of 2. They are definitely going to have the race lead, and that's going to hurt this inside line big time. And so here comes Smity. He pulls out a line. That could shake up just a little bit. Slow down the outside line momentum just a little bit more when a car like that pulls out and goes to this middle line, hoping for a couple to go with them, but no one goes with them. Everybody stays on this outside line. Casey is in the wall from the push from the 25. As they're starting to figure their way out. Maybe not! Oh! Oh! Crash for the 31! And it is going to be a multi-car crash! Big crash for the 24! As now, that did end up working out for Ryan. The entire field is now on the bottom, except for a few. But the 25 is clear. So that worked out pretty well in a couple of these guys' favors. Especially this main group of cars here. That's going to look really good for them. Juan will lead it back with 16 to go. We do end up getting a couple more stragglers to get around the line. I believe only one car is not going to finish, which is the 24. So we had to do a little quick reset, make sure everybody was back on their proper lap. I did mess up Jay. He is supposed to be 1 lap down. He is now 1 lap down. I accidentally put him down to 3 when he was supposed to be at 2. So I messed that up. My bad, Jay. And we're going to go ahead and let the AI roll. Juan will lead them to green this time by. We moved it up to 1 aggression on AI, so that way they don't all just kind of stay single file. If they want to make a little bit more moves, they can. I moved it up to there because we've got 16 to go, and we go green, it'll be 15 to go, so a good couple laps ended up going through there. So, gonna hope for the best. Yeah, that it proves too much. I'll put it back down to 0. I'm not gonna lie, because they were doing really good there, and then the pushes got a little too wobbly and a little too uneven because there were 10 cars in one line. Actually, 9 cars at the end, but there was 10 cars at one point in that outside line. Which did pretty much shake up the order a good bit. Especially when they all crashed into each other as green flag. Juan leads them back to green, but Ryan also got a very good start. Very good start for your front two, as we're going to get a bit of a lag spike going across the line. As now only 2 cars are not on the lead lap, which is the 54 of Jay and the 24 of Feedbajan. Only 2 not on this lead lap with the rest of the field. They're going to hope for 1 more caution, and then they can escape without having another lap down added to their name. It would be very nice to have the full field finish on the lead lap, but I doubt that's going to happen here tonight. Unless we get another caution and it's near the start-finish line, like before it, not after it. As the field's starting to figure the way around the outside now. 2 cars only in the middle. Jay, Chris, and now Julia makes her appearance into that middle line. Bottom line looks the fastest right now, though. Everybody kind of sticking to their line, not wanting to make too bold of a move. As soon as I say that, that's going to move Colin. Moving to the middle, trying to work with that middle line, and so does Julia, and here goes Juan to the middle line. That means Ricky is now knocking on the doorstep for the race win. Side by side, the 17 and 25. Not a name I was expecting to say. Moving up for the lead with 2 last place finishes in a duel and in the 500. Ricky has just not had the pace or the luck or any sort of anything. Just nothing good going his way. He did qualify second, but he did end up wrecking a car for it. Now Juan's got to hope for some help to get to him here, because now Ricky's got the assistance of the 48. Colin and Crimson both bailed on the 25, went to the outside, but Ricky also doesn't look too bad. Sorry, not too bad, too good on the inside. I'm struggling to speak, I'm not going to lie, it's 4 in the morning, and this has definitely been going on for longer than an hour. So, pardon me for being tired, as this outside line is starting to roll. Like earlier, but not as many cars up there as last time. Colin out of the race lead. It'll be Colin versus Juan for now. Colin did start towards the front, I'm pretty sure. So not too crazy. If not, he's definitely one of the better drivers. Is what is going on that backstretch? Just could not see anything. It is a side-by-side battle between the top and bottom. Juan with help from Ricky. Now Colin moves down to the middle. I wish I could see what's happening. Thank you, game. Colin tries to use this middle line to his advantage, and it's going to work to lead this lap, but how much longer will it work? Only a few cars in that middle line, and they're a long way back for Colin to have any assistance from them. I feel like the top line, yep, there it is the better move here. More cars, and they're a lot closer together than that middle line. Oh, but now Ricky's going to feel that void in the middle line. That's going to hurt Juan. They're a little bit further behind him now to get a push as this outside line is getting together, and they're going to get to that 19. Whoa, big crash! Smity, hard in the outside wall. That is the field involved. That one is crazy. And you know who makes it out of it? Jay Invasion. Holy, that is the field. As the Yo8 will cross the line. But I don't think any other car will be moving. Big push from the 31, and when they do end up getting hooked up like that, they just go straight, and they have no chance of turning, which is, it's a fault of Roblox, not the AI. And then, oh my god, that was a violent crash. And the field just nowhere to go, except for be involved in this crash. I mean, just look from the 7's POV, the track is just going to get blocked. There is absolutely nowhere to go to get out of this crash. And then just rolls over a piece of debris. Alright, we are back, about to go green with 9 laps to go. And only a handful of cars are on the lead lap. I believe only 8 cars out of the 14. And 6 are up here at the front. 2 are in the very back row. And the 2 in the very back row are going to hope they can move forward quickly, or another caution comes out, making them closer to the field of the cars that they are racing for position. A bunch of cars did not make it back to the line that last time. That was a huge crash in turn 3 and 4. Smity just got too big of a push from Casey and just had nowhere to go except for to use it, and it took him up the track. So now he and a bunch of others have to pay the price of sitting a lap down with only a few to go. But they're going to be open for another one. Green flag in the air as Juan and Colin lead him back to green. Like I said, 9 laps to go here from Atlanta. And Juan is looking to seal the deal here tonight. Keep it in the forwards for wins. They have won almost every race so far except for Duel 2, which went to Colin, who's now on that outside, looking for the race lead, hoping for some help from behind. As they go around turn 3 and 4, coming back down to 8 laps to go. Juan with a lot of help down on the bottom line. Colin trying to find someone to help him, and he's going to get pushed up towards Colin. That was crazy. Now Colin moves to the outside line. It wasn't necessarily him not wanting to work with Juan. He saw Ricky trying to look for the middle. And then Ricky went back down to the bottom. That's going to end up hurting both of those cars as Ricky once again making a weird look there. Now he finally commits to that middle line, and there's no help to find. That is going to hurt Juan and Colin big time, and that means the lead goes to the 3rd place car on that restart. Chris now to the race lead, as Ricky right behind him, and Ryan down at the bottom. Ryan is a lap car. There's going to be a lot of them now moving forward. Just like Daytona, just like Duel 2, late grace caution means a lot of cars trying to rally back for the lead. Or not even the lead, for the lead lap, sorry. As Chris blocks off this top line, I really hope he keeps that 17 behind him. I don't want to see that 17 win here today. No offense to Ricky, just don't want to see it. As that is 2 lap cars going to the lead on the bottom. Followed by another. They've all kind of like hooked up there together on the bottom line. Never mind, the 7 moves up to the middle. It's a lot of cars pushing this middle, oh sorry, not the middle line, I was looking at the middle line. The top line. A lot of cars up there, which doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go forward, as we saw with that 10-car tandem. Right there, Ricky, big push there to him. That got him out of shape and got the 25 out of shape as well at the same time. Forces the issue 4 wide. Well, and we get a crash in the back. No car goes around, only contact with the wall for the 33, and that's going to hold up the 41. Ryan now moves to the middle line. I don't know if that's really a smart call here. They're 4 wide, and it's just going to keep dragging these lines back, except for this top line. Ryan's got to commit to either the second or third lane. He can't sit there in the middle of 2 lanes when they're 2 wide, like directly behind him. As we're taking off laps. Oh, this is about to get interesting. 4 wide for the race lead. This is getting interesting. And I believe only 2 of these cars in this 4 wide are race leaders. Yeah, only 2 of them. As Ryan's slowly falling back, no help to the back end of the 88. But you know who's crept their way up forward? It's the 70... I was at 74. The 54 and 24. I want to say everything right. Yeah, I don't want to say anything right tonight, apparently. As we're trying to cycle our way to these guys, because they are in this mix. Jay has a chance to go and get the pole and win the event in the same thing. Maybe! If they don't crash, there it is! 1 car around in the back, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, only 1 car goes up and over. But they're stopped on track, so they are racing it back to the line. And the race back is going to go to a lap car, I'm pretty sure here. So that'll get interesting, as it looks like Jay is going to take the race lead away from Ricky! Yes, he does! With a 2-lap dash to the finish. They're going to get crazy here tonight. Only 1 car is a lap down. And don't count him out, though. We can still get overtimes. Since we are in this position, overtimes are unlimited. But a caution has to come out before the white flag. If the leader hits the white, race is official. Whatever happens, happens. Jay versus Ricky on the front row. Will it stay that way? Probably not. This one could come from all the way in the back if they end up getting a crash. Like I said, Juan is not counted out. Don't count him out, even though he's a lap down. As we're about to get our green flag, Jay leads him to green, and there it is. Very even start from your front 2. As they start 2 laps to go. Ricky already down a car behind him. Chris fans to the outside. He does not want to help that number 17. Do not blame him. Ricky is notoriously known for having bad blocks. But Jay also does not have help. The 08 pulls at the middle line away from him. Lines are starting to get crazy as we make it 2 to 3. Only a few turns separate them. And the white flag. Jay goes up the block. To the middle line he goes. As we get a major lag spike. He goes up to the top to block Ricky. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go. 3 wide across the line. It is official now. If there's a crash, it's whatever. That car is going to finish last. As we are getting major lag spikes now. Which is not good. I want to see this finish. As we cycle down, Colin has a lead flying down the backstretch. Does he keep it for the rest of the half of lap? As it is a very tight battle here. 1 mistake is all it takes, and it doesn't even have to be from you. It has to be from anybody in your line. Race back. Colin has the lead. Will he race it back to the line? Side by side. Can't see the finish. Colin gets it. Solid finish from every single car in the field. Did not crash it back, and if you're questioning it, I did race their aggression. progression got moved up to where it starts and where it kept for most of the race when they were crashing every lap. Who gets the fastest lap? Jay with the fastest lap, so another bonus point to that number 54 here tonight. And we'll here display the results for you guys for points, so what it shakes up to be. But a very, very crazy night here in Atlanta. Ends up with a 3-wide finish at the line, as we're going to actually go look at some of this a little bit. Let's just see. I mean, there was legit nothing a lot of people could do here on this white flag. Since it was just a 2-lap dash to the finish, there was a literal no place to go unless you were one of the front guys. I say, because we had a bad lag through this entire final lap, so we weren't able to see fully what was going on. Hate that for you guys tonight, that nothing was really working out with lag. It's pretty dumb. But I mean, Colin goes to victory lane, and it at least wasn't a photo finish, so we could at least see the time score. Colin was clearly in front. And Jay goes from leading the white flag down to, I believe it was 5th. And 1 lap. And that's what I mean, that you just can't count anybody out, and you can't automatically say it's going to be somebody here at these plate tracks. Because, like I said, Jay, first on the lap. Maybe even 6th. I think he may have even gotten 6th. That is crazy. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this, if you didn't watch Daytona or the duels, go watch those. Go watch the rest of these. And when they are recorded, they will be coming out pretty frequently. They will be every week as far as it's planned right now until pretty much the end of the year. So be prepared for that. We might have to double up on some of them if I can't upload per week. So be prepared to go check out any of those when they do come out. Go check out the main racing channel for when we actually do proper events that isn't just AI, that it's actual people doing things. They're a lot more entertaining and a lot more human error and a lot more interesting than just a bunch of cars running on already set lines for said AI. And when it's them making a mistake, it's just them changing to the not preferred line. But anyways, go check that out. Go check out the TikTok. Check the Twitch out for when I do stream these things live. Come join the Discord so you can join the actual events. We want you guys there, so please go do it. But this will be Saxy signing out. See you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Stay crossing off my list. Got my money and my bitch. That's a check. Brought my mama there to the crib. Could retire off of this wrist. That's a check.